You have two running backs, faking off the one, practice the faking off the one, the other one's coming around to hand off to him. Meanwhile, they're chasing this guy. Well, as many fakes as you can do, that works on us too. We get faked out all the time. Teams that came close.
Can you draw up a play that has maybe a fake?
I only have 19, I only have 15.
I know, but you managed to compliment yourself 8 times so far, so if you just hone that down, then I think we'll be good.
All right, so here would be a fake play. So this guy would come in front, fake handoff, gonna make it practice it like 100 times. Make it look really good. You know, you fake it, put it behind you. This guy goes back around here, and he hands off. Meanwhile, these guys are running. You clear monitor, make sure that the zone defense is following these guys around, so he's got an open path. Works really well in person set.
Now from like that basic structure approach, it seems like you can do a lot of different things.
Yeah,
You start with like cross action, and then maybe what's the progression on that? Just one.
You can hand off to him, if he's got a good arm, you can throw it. That'll fake out most teams. Because they're not expecting that, right? They're expecting you to run. But what if you continued on this way? Meanwhile, the kids are chasing the runner, right? And then they throw a ball. One of the things that we like to do is why, since Paul's got these antiquated rules where a running back can't run, or a quarterback can't run, I'll put a guy here. We'll hike the ball to the quarterback, who's not a quarterback. He couldn't throw the ball if he tried, but he pitches back to the quarterback, and now the quarterback can run or pass.
So you're still running that same concept where you're doing the cross action, but now the guy can run fast, or is this something different?
No, I want to.
Oh, so you just snap it to a player, and he pitches it back to the quarterback, and then from there, after your play starts.
You can run back. Definitely. So that's how you get around their antiquated rules of quarterbacks can't run. They can run in this league. It just has to be, you've got to be intermediate.
In your experience, you have a different quarterback.
Yeah, totally. I would not do that. I would pick a position for these kids after a thorough evaluation. Don't put your son at quarterback unless he really is the best player on the team. Because they have parents and then back to kids. My kid is not playing quarterback. He's not. I've moved him off the running back. He's a good receiver, so now he's playing receiver. You let him play quarterback. I won't let him play quarterback. It's not fair to him or the team.
He has to sit out a quarter.
Yeah. Well, brings me to my next point. This is why I can go on for. You got to develop two quarterbacks. Must. We will take advantage of you in that quarter that the quarterback's not in. We'll rush you like crazy. Get interceptions. So you got to develop two. Pick two and develop. First and second grade not as important because I recommend first and second graders develop running backs. Running backs will win you games. We had a kid that probably scored 70% of our points because he was such a phenomenal running back. We didn't get a lot of throws. There's just not. Some second graders, there are exceptions, are good quarterbacks. And if you have one, go to town. Because there's not a lot, there won't be a lot of defensive pass protection that's any good. Okay. Any other questions on offense? Again, this is a whole 2-week class. Any questions on offense? Yes, sir.
Play calling for grades 1 and 2. Do you actually have, names for formations and stuff, or do you just say, you go here, you go there, you're getting the ball?
Do you use a visual? How do you handle that?
I use a visual, and I either color code it or give them numbers. I've figured out numbers work better for third and fourth. Because let's just say you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quarterback. I will yell an audible during the game. You guys won't know who's 5. I'll say 5, and then I'll say the equivalent of down and out. Maybe it's code word blue. Because I know there's a weak player here. So if I say 5 blue, even though they've seen the play in the huddle, you guys should all put plastic sheets around the paper I use PowerPoint and just circles with numbers on it. Say 5 blue, and he knows to go like this, right? And the quarterback won't work as well first and second. Third and fourth definitely won't work. And you just take advantage of weak players. You should have, if you have an assistant coach, they should be scouting out weak players on the defense. That should be their main job when they're not coaching defense. So you guys know who to take advantage of.
Any other offensive questions? Before we move on to defense.
So defense, as I alluded to, for whatever reason, 100% of the teams out there besides us play zone. I hate zone if I'm on defense, because you guys can take advantage of it. We play man-to-man, no. The disadvantage of man-to-man, if you have a weak player, which you will have, or every team does, make sure they're not lined up with their best players. So if you're going to go man-to-man, kind of, force rank your own team and force rank their team as quickly as you can, and go man-to-man that way. Also, have a very strong, very fast rusher. I see teams not using rushers, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? You're going to give 7 seconds to throw the ball? Because you can't come in, defense can't come in and rush my quarterback unless they were lined up 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Absolutely rush every play. If you're in first and second grade, just stop most often right here. Here's the line of scrimmage, here's their team. I ran 7 at them, or 6. 7 would have got me in trouble. So I run 6, 7 yards back, right at them, unless they had a strong quarterback.
Are you trying to tell me that in first and second grade you just lined up all your players like that?
Absolutely. And we went 72. This is a very strong defense.
You just let them run.
Because
You're not super afraid of them. You're not afraid of them throwing the ball
only
at
if they got a
that.
strong quarterback, then we change it up. This is the defense we ran for two seasons, or always 72, 8, 1. Yes, sir.
But what are you telling the kids to do on the snap of the ball?
What I'm telling them to do is to go straight forward, because they're either handing the ball off in first and second, or short with the deep passes. So they're just all running forward and following the ball. First and second, don't do this in third and fourth.
Can you drop a third and fourth defense, maybe a zone?
Ours is man-to-man,
So you just
100% man-to-man.
Okay, so motion, a run with motion.
Yep, line motion.
Now, do you put your fastest player at rusher or your second fast? How would you approach that?
If you think of a Venn diagram, look at fast player, he can pull flags. So you might be fast, but you can't pull flags. If you can't, I do flag pulling drills all day long until you can pull that flag.
Great segue. What flag pulling drills do you have?
The best ones I have are line cones up about 5 yards apart, 10 yards deep, and I have players run right towards the defensive player, and the defensive player's got to pull bull flags.
Maybe try it.
Why? Because I want them to grab them in the waist, I don't want them flailing at it.
How was that?
I'll show you.
Okay, so
Here's
there's
the offensive player,
Okay.
here's the defensive player,
Uh-huh.
and I have them run through this maze. And if he doesn't pull a flag, bull flags, he's got to do 20 push-ups.
Funny.
So, it gets him to be a flag puller, it gets him to be a shooter. It's a good flag.
And will you let all those kids go, the defender go against everybody one time?
Yes.
Okay, so you have a row of kids,
Yep.
and they're going, and you're trying to get both flags every time.
Yeah, and I'm telling him to spin. I mean, you can't put the flag there, but I want him spinning, juking, whatever he can do. We're yelling at both kids in a polite, friendly way, motivating them. The defensive guy, coach, is motivating him with the flag, and I'm motivating him just to take him out and shoot him. Cool. It's a good drill if you're in first and second grade, find your running back and your top defensive guys. Okay.
Some clarification on the
Yeah.
rush,
Yeah.
rule. If you have a guy 7 yards back, they can go on the snap.
Yes.
Inside the 7 yards, they got to make 7 seconds.
No.
No, they can never rush him. Unless the ball's handed off.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. So, but first and second grade, I rush 2, 3, 4, I rush 4. All right, team dynamic, what's time do I have, Paul?
And
You're gonna be-
that,
Oh, okay. Any more questions on offense or defense?
So going back to your 6 men going straight.
Yeah.
How many are actually rushing the quarterback?
One or two.
Okay.
But if it's, think about the dynamic here, 70% of the plays in first and second grade are rushing plays. They're not strong quarterbacks, they're just not. If you're lucky with a second grader, then you have to change his defense. They're running most of the time. So if you've got 6 guys coming in on an offense that can't block, what are the odds you're gonna pull a flag? Pretty high. So that's why I do it. Yeah.
Did your strategy change when you were no run zones?
Oh yeah, I mean, when you're in no run zones, then I go back, fall back on man. Well, first, second grade, we ran zone, should have ran man to man, but yeah, I fall back on defense.
So we had a situation, we had a strong quarterback, but we didn't have very good receivers. So the first couple of games, my guy would go back, dump it into the middle. We had 3 pick-sixes on us in the game. So after a couple of games, I started telling him, look, if you're going to just toss it in the middle, I'd rather you have a flag it hold or just throw it on the ground. And so that was an adjustment I made. And then as the season went along, we basically just turned into a running team, just couldn't get a pass farther than 5 yards. I'm losing that quarterback and picking up, probably going to either promote my developmental quarterback that I had, or depending on what I see what I get on my team, maybe have someone else to do the job. What would you do as a coach? Because I realize this is a coaching issue for me. I never called offense the first time I was figuring out. What would you do differently to get your team more passes? Because we were easy to figure out.
Yeah, so one of my favorite passes is this one right here. Sometimes I play it tight, so I go, I'll bring him in a little bit more, and I'll put a guy out here. Now, if your quarterback can't throw, well, he sounds like he can throw 5 yards, but if he can't catch a pass 5 yards away, then I put him into what I call one-handed drills. I don't tie your arm behind their back, but I force them not to only use one hand. If they can catch it with one hand eventually, just keep throwing the balls. And tell their fathers, just throw them a ball. Do not let them use 2 hands. If you can catch it with one, you're going to be able to catch it with 2. That makes them better catchers. Good drill. Before every game, we do this, even still with our business is good. So what happens is, these guys go out in a variety of patterns. You pass to him, he should have some openings. So that would be one play that I'd run. If you have nobody that can catch, you've got to be able to, even if you have to start at 2 yards, 3 yards, I keep doing it until, they get it. I remember sitting in my living room with my son. He was going into, we were in first grade, it was the first season, we didn't catch a ball, just drop it over. It's okay, stand 2 feet away. Kind of laughs at me. Stand 2 feet away. And I just kept throwing it until you catch it 2 feet. I said, take a step back. It was 3 feet. It was 4 feet. Now I can go 50 yards, barely, and he gets it 50 yards. So that's what I would do to develop good catchers.
how about, how do you use the center in your offense? Or is there anything you can kind of give a play or a takeaway for the coaches and maybe how they can use the center?
Yeah, so for most teams, their center is their weakest player. Our third best player is the center. And the reason is because most people think the worst player is at center. So nobody covers it. So obviously, multiple opportunities. If you're not covering our center is either doing this, or they're going long. And he is on almost every play, he is our secondary secondary player that our quarterback's looking at.
So defensive check down guy, the other stuff's not happening.
Safety valve.
Your center is doing a little 3-yard curl and he's just there.
And if you don't have a defense, and you just have a rusher and nobody in the middle, we're just going to keep hitting them. We had our center catch 13 balls in one game, and we'll 26 run. Because nobody covered them. So we're like, okay. Yes, sir.
First and second grade, can you shotgun?
You can. I did. You better develop that center if you're going to drop a lot of balls. They should be at 95%, 5 yards back. 95% of us. If you're dropping more balls, and you're so frustrated because it's most frustrating to drop a ball. You can't pick it up. Yeah. Yes, sir.
I know there's no blocking in this league. Would you consider a screen like a basket, if you ran a kid down and just had him stand in front of a defensive player, is that considered illegal?
Well, if there was no intent to catch, yes, but there's something better than a screen. I just bunch kids up together, and I shoot them off in different directions, but make sure they're not hitting. They're supposed to avoid the defense. So if I avoid them, but you're still in their way, they still can't see. And so I'll just bunch 3 kids up in a screen, but just go in all different areas. But they gotta look like they're gonna catch. They should be an option anyway to catch the ball. So that's how I do it. I'll just burst right at the defense.
And if you tell a kid, like, hey, you are not an option here on this play to catch the football, you're going to get probably less than an incredible effort from your people running those.
Everyone's eligible, so I think you're
Right.
So
You
absolutely.
got to sell them a little bit. Hey, we're all around, we're all doing our job, but we got to go really fast.
One practice note, I get dads, because during plays, you'll find that if it's just going to one kid, the rest of the kids kind of slouch off, which drives me crazy. They all need to run their routes on my offense, or it could get screwed up, because we're trying to bring people away from the play. I have 3 dads throw 3 balls to every receiver. So it's a lot of balls being thrown, but every kid knows he or she might get it. So you'll see that, so we either do 3 quarterbacks. Okay. Third and fourth, you need a strong quarterback, at least 1, hopefully 2. Even if the quarterback can just hand off, third and fourth. Our play mix is 50-50 exactly. How do I know I will go for the whole time? I mean, we're always we were 50-50 run and pass. Your 5th and 6th is 70-30 pass to run. First and second grade, it's like 70-30 run and pass. Those are just averages. You've got a great running back, it's like a 90-10 catch.
Maybe I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
All right, so I want this. Okay, so practice starts at, let's say, 5 o'clock. Okay. What's your first period? What's your first 5 minutes, 10 minutes? What's happening?
Yeah, I don't do calisthenics, I do drills instead.
Okay, so you start with
Pass drills, run drills,
pass, run drills. How long?
20 minutes.
Okay. Then after you've worked on some fundamentals, throwing and catching and getting handoffs, and are you also pulling flags in that? Or in that?
Yep.
Okay, so you're getting some flag pulling as well.
Look at the last game, what did they do wrong and practice that.
All right, so there's 20 minutes practice. I know you talked about this, right? Second 20, you're going through plays.
Yes.
Now, are you working on defense as well as offense, or are you just focused on the offensive side?
You're only going to have 6 players on offense and 2 on defense, so I might have a couple of the 2 guys that aren't in the play covering someone. Typically, it's just plays. That's why I have 3 dads throwing balls every game.
So you're running plays, you're getting dads involved, and anybody who's there, 3 people,
Yeah.
and so that way, when you're running plays, everybody got their head on the swivel, everybody's getting more reps, they're getting more practice catching the football, or running the football, that's great. And then, so defensively, because you tend to be man defense, it kind of takes, you don't have to coach it, or you don't have to coach it as hard, it's like, hey, you got that guy. So you focus more of your practice on offense than anything, is that fair?
No, it's not fair. Because the scrimmage, we make up for it on defense.
Okay, so we've done 20 minutes of plays, and then now we're going to do another 20 to 30, whatever.
Yeah, if I go 90 minutes, I'll practice usually even though I play scrimmage.
And that's because your parents are like, hey, 90 minutes is fine. If they have to go, they have to go.
Yeah, exactly.
But, so you're going scrimmage.
And why is there a scrimmage? Because we want to reward the kids at the end.
And you're coaching, and do you, with your assistant, do you deploy your assistant on defense?
Yes.
And so you guys get 4 on 4.
That's right.
And he runs defense, you run the offense, and then about halfway through, you guys switch and say, hey, you 4, move.
Yeah, and you're not, with 4 guys, you can't run complete plays. Our main focus here is man-to-man. Our main focus is learn how to cover these kids. So I'll put the weakest on the best, I'll keep rotating. If you put the weakest on the best, they'll get better. Because they don't want to get burned 50 times. So that's our main focus for the scrimmage. It gives them a fun time. It's not structured.
You call plays, right?
We'll just get back and do kind of a hacked version of our play. But I want them to cover those man. I just need more of them.
And so you coach a bunch of seasons now.
If they get burned, they need to.
And so you coach a bunch of seasons now. And so fundamentals, offensive plays,
Yeah.
3 balls, which I haven't heard before, which I think is really cool. Now, everybody's alert. If we all know we're running a running play to the right,
Just slap.
and then we're to the defense at that point to, hey,
Man, no good man.
okay, so my question is, down set hut, I give you football, is the person who's covering you, they're responsible to pull that flag?
Well, I mean, everybody at that point, unless you think that it's gonna be a fake.
So you're just following, okay, whoever's rushing, you got the quarterback gets rid of the football, does that person stay with the quarterback? So, all right, we have a rusher, down set hut, I give the ball to you, is that rusher now veered towards you, or are you saying, no, stay with your guy?
No, he's rushing, he's going on the wall, so the quarterback
Uh-huh.
could go out for a pass.
Yeah,
And so I'm hoping one of my guys picks him up, but like I said, that's why I like fakes. If you're not covering the quarterback, that's an opportunity to beat us. Because we don't typically have somebody covering the quarterback. Once the rusher sees the handoff, then they're off.
direct questions for Mark, and then we'll let Mark go. Yeah. Hey, Lincoln.
I missed a little bit of the intro, sorry about
It's
that.
all right, we have Wesley here, he's gonna upload it to YouTube, it's all good.
Sweet. Was this more or less up to third, fourth?
Yeah,
Questions?
fifth and sixth. I'm not changing my offense for fifth and sixth.
We're gonna have a 5th and 6th grade guru come here in about 15 minutes, okay?
That was my question.
Yeah, he'll be here in about 15 minutes, just text him. So, yeah, any other direct questions? Yes, James?
You mentioned the YouTube, I mean, is there a YouTube channel? I can't read the board, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to send out a YouTube link once Wesley uploads it, and then I'll email it to everybody, and it'll be the link for the coaches meeting the other night that you were there at, and then we have a different link for tonight, okay? Where you can, if you got here a little bit late, you can catch up from the beginning. Also, for anybody who didn't come, or any assistant coach you think would benefit, by all means send it. Yes, Gordon?
If you have a new team, how many plays are you introducing a week for practice?
So before the season, you'll have roughly 4 practices, 5 base plays, and I wouldn't do any, I'm not doing any more than 5 base plays. I just modify those base plays as we go forward. So if I
You start with modifications, you say just get these 5 plays down first
Yes.
game, and then add modifications.
that's right.
2 quarterbacks, you say develop 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Any more than that?
Why? Unless one of the kids do gone a while. Yeah, just 2.
Okay.
And if they're equally as good, playing equal times. You know, two quarters, I did that one first and second grade. Yes, sir.
For first and second grade, how are they with, handoffs versus pitches, I formation, T formation, that sort of stuff? What was your experience like?
Practice, 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 and I would be running more than passing for sure, but really practice, a lot of handoff drills, a lot of handoff, get the sound fundamental of the handoff. Experiment with shotgun, but you won't get about 95% of the time. It's easier in shotgun than even handoff.
Okay.
And a lot of, one play I like to run in first and second is what the quarterback would run with the running back. Now, as long as you don't hand off, you can't rush in unless you're the rusher, right? You guys understand that?
I've actually seen this play. Okay, so Mark, you and I, so Coach Mack is the sideline, we're in the middle of the field, down set hut, it goes between my legs, or no, I'm the quarterback, I get it, and then now we're
Just
just,
holding in my gut, you're not handing off. Now, he's got a decision to make. Do I throw it or do I hand it off?
if I keep it, now I've got to throw it, if I hand it off.
It's going to work so well.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So well.
Now, you said this is a little bit of sliding scale, and I'm going to get to you, Coach. This is kind of 3rd and 4th grade practice, right?
Yeah.
If this was 1st and 2nd, you'd probably get a little bit more heavy on the pass run drills and maybe a little lighter on running. You don't, a little lighter on scrimmage. So you would take away some time from the scrimmage and spend way more time on the fundamentals, especially early on in the year with the 1st and 2nd graders. Coach?
I've got kindergarten, obviously, so how long of practice do you recommend and what
So he recommends an hour.
spend on what? Okay.
You know, that's, some people go a little over, if the parents are okay with that, then, but they're gonna some parents are gonna I sign my kid up for this, it's only an hour a week, I want my kid out, we have to go to dance lessons, or hey, we gotta go do this, so.
Now, you can sneak a second practice in right before the game. That's what I like to do. Just cover plays. That's all I like to practice. Make sure they've got the plays in the head.
If you have the assistant coach that found kindergarten last year, break them up into smaller groups, because when they're all together, the attention span goes up.
Yeah.
Like, if you give them the groups like 2 or 3 to do the drills, they seem to pick up a lot more.
Very good. Last, James, yes, sir.
Yeah, in regards to the running plays, I've got first and second, and then third and fourth, coaching 2 teams. So first time around, I'm going to learn a lot this year. So will the kids. But as far as the stance, I mean, are we knuckles on the ground? Are they standing?
No, everybody's up. The center's going to be obviously down because he's going to snap the ball or she's going to snap the ball perfectly. But everybody else can be up in relaxed position. Generally, receivers are going to receive their stand. Running backs are here. I think the most important thing is that when the ball snaps, they know where they're going. You know.
Right, but in regards to running plays, I mean, the moment that the exchange happens between quarterback and running back, there's no blocking. So basically, it's the fastest runner.
No, because.
Or elusive runner.
Fast runners are going to make plays.
Yeah, fast, but, you know, people can spin and shoot and, just if you have a fast runner, you're running into my defense.
Right. I'm curious in regards to, you know, the majority of the plays and then how to defend that and really how to call a play for
I would defend that
first and
by
second graders.
my fast guy and their fast guy.
Mark likes to play man-to-man defense and match up like that. I am going to allow anybody who's like first or second or third and fourth grade coaches to hang out with Mark outside of the room a little bit, just right in that little lobby area. If you want to stay, I'm going to continue for about 10 minutes, and then another Mark, not this Mark, another Mark is coming to talk about 5th, 6th, and 7th, 8th grade, all right? Thank you very much, Mr. Fidelman. Great job, Mark. Yeah. I had an NFL team this past season. It's great kids. I think teachers like electrical engineers, someone built for sure. Like science future. Like throwing the blue thing, football. We had a hard time. So we're trying to find a quarterback or doing things. It's a challenge. Not all of us have neighbors that have to be produced third and fourth grade football. So, I really think when it comes to football,
Sorry, that's my.
it's technique
No, it'll be yours too.
over
Yeah, we're trying to go for a second.
speed. So what that means is, at the end of the game, when we lost or we won, it was generally because we pulled flags. We held on to the football. And he ran to the ball on defense. Every practice, every game, what are our first? One guy. We run the football. That's right. Number 2, and somebody else, we hold on to the football. Number 3, we pull flags. Okay? And so, if you are focused on those 2 things, and defensively, it really is about running the football. Whether you're playing man or you're playing zone, you want to make sure that the effort you have to your players, that your players put a great effort. So what I would do is I'd put like one running back right here, and here's our football field. And I would line up my zone. And this is our rusher, our middle player. This is like, you're going to get this a lot. This is like a kind of standard defensive zone. Okay, now, here's the football. Okay, guys, so we have offense here, and then here's our 6 defenders. You're going to get this a lot. But what Mark said, and Mark's a pretty smart guy, you can tell he's super confident. So, he puts a lot of players on one side, which is totally right. Like, you know what, now you're having to move people over, and they're in zone, totally, by overloading one side. But for a pursuit drill, so this is like a pursuit drill, to teach kids to pursue and pull. I would slip a couple extra flags on the running back, and I would have a coach right here, and a coach right here. And this player would have 4 flags on, okay? And this player would have to try to get to the coach without getting his flags for coaching. And so I would pick which coach we're going to run to, and then everybody would also, after they pull the flag or not, have to chase after. So basically, this person would run to a coach, and everybody would pull the flag, and follow, and everybody would run. Then, once they got lined back up, and I would count backwards, like, you guys have 10 seconds, then we have our other running back ready to go. So we had 6 players on defense, 2 players on offense, and it's just for control. They had to run to the coach. They could shoot, they could do whatever, but I didn't want them stopping. They were running. And hopefully, we got all 4 flags pulled, okay? Also, I saw an F&L coach Because what happened was, after we started losing a few games, I started like thinking, like, okay, why am I like a decent football coach? Because like, I work hard and like I'm organized, right? And I'm like, okay, what am I doing everything I can to help these kids? And the fact was, I started looking at F&L coaches before games, like, what are these guys doing? Because I don't know what, you know? And so, like Mark said, you have all your players right here, right here, right here in a line, and then you have one defender, okay? And I would say things like, okay, everybody in the line, okay? And when I touch your shoulder, you can go. And they would just start going. So like, they didn't know which one I would touch, but I would just like, oh, hey, what's up, buddy, how's it going? And I touch this one, like, oh, you have a good day, boom. And then they would just all start running. And the person on defense is like, boom, boom. And they just loved it. Like, it was rapid fire. These people are just going. And then like, okay, who wants to go on defense next? And everybody's hand will go up, right? Like, okay, here. All right, now I get them all lines. Okay, if you have green shoes on, go. If you have red shoes on, go. And I would just like do things to try to keep them attentive. And then at the end, we keep track of it. Or like the defender would keep track of how many flags that defender had. So super simple. And I would do it in a space literally this big. From about like 8-yard space, I have the defender right here, and everybody in the line, boom. Hey, how you doing? Are you ready to go, man? Hey, if your name starts with a J, you can go. And all of a sudden, like, the third person line sprints up there. You can go, boom. And again, lots of reps pulling flags, Hey, Coach, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Doing well.
Question?
Yes, sir.
In your dotted room on the right, let's say the offense runs a sweep, would you go through corners and L and R to stay home or chase the sweep?
Good question. I would have them shuffle, and once the ball crosses the line of scrimmage, then go. So I would have them shuffle that way, but remember their rules, nothing outside.
That's why I taught coach them to chase the ball, but
So I was like, okay, remember, play goes away from you, take a few shuffle steps, and once the ball crosses, then turn it. So, Coach Tremors, I am just filling time for you.
Oh,
sorry. Come on up here, Coach Tremors. Coach Tremors, so happy to have you. Thanks for having me. Yeah, Coach Tremors, how many seats are FNL? AC. Coach, and now we've got 2 twin boys that are playing for me up at Carlsbad High School freshman team. That's right. It's fun to continue. That's right. And so, Coach, what I want people to get today is some takeaways on practice, how you structure practice, okay, for a 5th and 6th or a 7th and 8th grade team, okay? All right, practice. A couple plays, 2 or 3 offensive plays, okay? Defense, how you approach that. And then, anything else on that? But that's really, I want all the coaches to take some things away, like, hey, this is a cool play, or hey, this is a way to start an offense or defense, like, here's our philosophy.
You got it.
Cool, man. Thanks for having me. Thanks. How are you guys? This is my first time doing this. I know he's asked me to come a couple times.
It doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna come off way more comfortable than the last guy.
Was that you?
No, it wasn't me.
So we've done it. We'll wait till Paul leaves now. No, so I have twin boys, like I said, they're going tonight. We've done 8 seasons, and we've won Super Bowl 7. So we kind of figured it out. And there's a couple things on defense and offense I did, and I'm more than happy to share. Practice, what I do is I send an email saying we're going to do 4 days a week up in Oceanside for 3 hours a night, and they all laugh and realize I don't really do practice. So in my 8 years doing it, I never did practice. Well, come playoffs or come Super Bowl, I did practice. And so what we did, just because my boys play a lot of football, a lot of baseball, a lot of lacrosse, and same with all their buddies, my whole goal is to kind of make this league that fun league. Because I can tell you right now, hey, we got lacrosse. We got baseball. Oh my gosh, yeah, I couldn't do anything not good. It's still like that. It was never like that with them now. It was always, we were so excited. We had the kids wearing their jerseys on Friday to school in grade school or middle school, and that was something that really kind of promote that unity, promote F&L, what the coaches have been doing, Coach Mack, Coach Paul, everybody would do. So what we did is we came to the game an hour early. And that was kind of our boys, my boys aren't the smartest boys, but they learn on Wednesdays, not really going to partake on Friday night, so we got there early. We always had smaller teams too. There was always bigger teams out there, kind of faster kids as well. But we learned real quick, and flag doesn't really help you, no matter how fast you are. And so for us, what we did for practices, we really just focused on defense and learning about 8 plays. And that's it. And really, almost maybe 4 plays were just the version of it too. So that's all we worked on. Defense was probably our key to winning. Just being able to kind of suffocate the run. The younger you are, the more you can run, right? You guys maybe found out if you had done first and second grade, you kind of stack everybody on the left and you pitch it right, and you've got one guy to beat, he's gone. As they get older, it's either me, I see the field getting smaller as Coach Mack wants to put more fields on that field, or the guys are just getting bigger where you can't really stretch the field left to right anymore, and so running became tougher and tougher for us. So for practice, it was really just about fun. This was the run league that my boys truly look forward to. They had all the buddies, we always had new kids coming in every year. But they still had a core of buddies that they were able to go through with. And we kind of made it a family affair on Friday night. So all the parents, we always kind of implied that they would be here with us. Invited them down there. It was kind of a fun Friday night event for us. And so the kids were super excited after school to do it. And we would always set up about an hour early to run through plays. We would just call local moments. Everybody kind of know that grab and flag drill, and so one of the things I would do that just really kind of made them more aggressive is just put a line of cones, maybe 5 yards apart, maybe 10, 12 yards long. 4 kids on one side, 4 kids on the other side, and I just throw a guy a ball. They got to score between that 5-yard mark there. So it just really taught them to be aggressive, and hopefully coach and we taught kind of wrapping and pulling versus stabbing at the flags. And so it really taught our kids just in that confined space to really go after flags, and that was kind of our key. So from a practice standpoint, especially when playoffs come around, you want to present well, you want to play well. Everybody makes the playoffs, which is so great about this. And like I said, out of all the sports we're always doing, never had complaints about FNL. And I think that was the way hopefully our coaches went into it, treating it like it's family, if not family time. Friday night family time, win or lose. That was the best part about it. Being able to play, 8th grade under the lights. That probably peaked right about there, but that's about as good as it gets, right? And you have great sponsors back there that help put it together. Let me jump to defense first, just because I talked about that. What we did when we understand how important running was early on is we had either play 2-3, 3-2, or man. Is that pretty much what everybody else does with the monster kind of doing his thing? What we did is if this was let's call it here, and then let's call maybe a running back here, and a guy here. So here's center, here's QB, here's running back. Everybody can see that. So this is what we call the weak side here. And so what we would do is if we're playing a 3-2, middle linebacker is still going to be there. The linebacker still has the flats in here, and my deep 2 has now got this guy on a man. This guy to man, and this linebacker here, this is the most important play that we had probably our whole season going through, is he got all the way up to the line of scrimmage, literally an inch from the center. Not scary, and he just kind of sat there like this, ready to go. And so what he did, and with the monster coming as well, is it gave him an opportunity to take the run out of play. And so anytime there was a pitch, anytime there was a rollout by this guy that was maybe still in play to catch the ball, this linebacker here, his whole job is as soon as it gets pitched, he's allowed to run in, right? He doesn't have to wait for the monster, he doesn't have to wait for anything. Well, I got real quick little linebackers, and they're jumping at the bit to do that. So his job is still the quarterback, no matter where the play goes, because what happens is if it's a fake pitch and this guy comes out, he still has him on the flat. So his whole job is just to cover up the line, or cover up the running back. This killed every offensive play we had. If it ended up being weak side here, this is the running back who got right on the line of scrimmage. And it really blew plays up, because anytime they want to do that pitch and then the guy has the option of throwing, by the time he catches that ball, he's already now in a full sprint. He's got about a second and a half to make a decision. So it just enabled us to have 2 rushers coming in and really to take care of the run, because the run, especially early on, is so valuable when you're smaller kids. So does that make sense? Okay, clear enough on that. Get that weak side linebacker all the way up front is what we did on every play. Especially when there's a running back or there's somebody behind the quarterback, right? So as soon as it's a pitch, he goes. And that was something that worked really well with us. This guy just got his man, and the other guy, this linebacker, still playing his zone, and he's got him deep. So those are the things that worked really well for us on defense. Fast monster is your key, obviously, and to make sure we keep doing that.
When you say a monster, you mean the rusher?
Rusher.
Rusher.
Oh, the monster's not monster.
I don't know if it's a universal term yet. We might have some new coaches.
Yeah.
But the monster. So you like putting a real fast player at the rusher?
I do. It really dictates the play, right? I mean, there's nothing worse than a running back that just jukes somebody who can roll out, and now all of a sudden he has a second play, right? The first play didn't quite work, and now you have guys rolling out, and there's a second play. If I have a fast monster that's 7 yards deep, you know, and he's excited, and he's ready to roll, and as soon as that's gone, he's running straight at the quarterback. The quarterback's got to take his eyes off the ball and look at where he's coming. And then if I have another linebacker that's right there, so it's a pitch play, and now all of a sudden from 5 yards out, he's running in along with me. And even if I'm still in the play, or let's say I'm the running back, and I get a fake, and I'm going to be that flat, and I'm going to be that guy that helps out, my linebacker goes and takes him away from the position, and I still have a monster taking care of the quarterback. So it really just takes away that running play and gives you guys a huge advantage. Yeah.
So from what I'm seeing, the way you've drawn it up, your middle is big. Or
Well, no, because we still have a middle linebacker.
Oh, you still have to know why.
So
Okay.
remember, these are the two outside linebackers here. And what I would do is anytime it's naked here, my deep has just got this guy man. Odds are he's running a post, or he's running a comeback, or he's not really going across. But the middle linebacker still gets to play there, which is the cool part.
So where do you put your weakest player, your player that's under the most involved in
Good
that
point.
side?
Good point. I like putting a middle linebacker. I find that all the plays are out on the edges, it seems like. I have help in the middle, where I can have my linebackers come, I can have my safeties if need be. And remember, you guys don't always have to rush, too. They got 7 seconds to throw the ball, the rest don't always call it, but they got 7 seconds. And so I always had it. I always had somebody, they were always either soccer players or baseball players or football players, and they're always athletic, but they weren't necessarily football savvy or could catch the ball. And I always said, here in the middle linebacker. That was my kind of safe place, but I always had real good outside linebackers that can come across and make plays as well. Good question. Yeah.
The flag pulling drill, I mean, one of the things that was frustrating last year, I was assistant coaches, you have that monster coming in, right? And he put a move put on him, right? And then they got another 4 or 5 seconds, they jump, right? So is that flag pulling drill the best way?
It was just the best way because I really kind of taught, most of my kids played Pop Warren, most of my kids were pretty athletic, and they all were pretty much buddies since the beginning. So we have, and also kind of let us kind of create our teams to a certain extent, which makes it even more special. And so what's most frustrating is, somebody's running and they're going to want to try to do a grab pull, right, like this. And the odds of, there's no way I can do that. When the guy's zipping right through, if he has any twist to him, we lose him. And so that really helped us the most, because it really talked about just, now I'm not holding anybody, now I've got them kind of wrapped, right, they're not going to get around me. This gives me that second to find the flag and pull. I'm not holding, I'm not causing a penalty, but what I just talked about, and if your kids are going to be playing Pop Warner and things like that, you're going to want to wrap, right? You're not going to want to come stab. There's nothing maybe more frustrating than somebody trying to stab a flag. You just can't do it.
That monster would come jamming in, but then all you have to do is sidestep and he's past you.
Right, and that's the deal. We were real lucky. We had this one kid that for 15 yards, he was as fast as anybody and came up with flags I ever saw. But if I try to have him play deep and run for 40 yards, he slows kid on the field. So you have those combinations where, right-handed quarterback, which way do we want him to roll? We want him to roll left, right? And a lot of these kids don't have the ability to make that throw. So, it's a little strategy there, but if you can teach him not to jump, and you can teach him to break down so he doesn't have a little wiggle, and then you go 5 yards past, that's the key. Other questions on defense? Yeah.
Would you mind just filling in the rest of the defense there? Show me what kind of formation that is.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
And then, based on this question we had before too, really, you got the middle linebacker that's gonna rush in and line up right in front of the center. To kind of get kind of shaking a little bit. That guy's basically got the running back.
No, the middle linebacker's got the running back.
I thought, okay.
Oh, no, we're running, sorry. The center, the middle linebacker's got the center. But I'm in charge. If I'm that guy right on the line of scrimmage right here, my job is the running back.
Right, the running back. And then you got a rusher who's behind the quarterback.
Right.
And you got another middle linebacker that's got the center.
Middle linebacker standing in the middle, covering the center. On the center's always in curls or little outs and stuff like
So
that.
in that defense, you're kind of playing the zone right off the bat, but as soon as people break away, the safeties grab a man and they cover the man.
In these plays here, so if we've got, our D2, we've got a middle linebacker, we've got an outside linebacker, let's say he's going to be naked, and we've got an outside linebacker here, and then we've got our monster here, okay, let's say. Line of scrimmage here, here's the center, here's the quarterback. Let's say you have kind of an offset linebacker right there, okay? Now you're in essence going to have one guy here, you're going to have two guys here. Okay? And I'd actually invert these two. And so what happens here then is I'm going to bring my deep guy to the outside here. His job is really man on this guy. Same thing over here. I'm going to bring him up a little bit. He's got this guy here. My linebacker's here. Now, he runs a streak. You know, there's weaknesses to it, right? We've got to make sure our deep is there. He runs a post. But this guy's going to, you know, these two can have to still play man, or they can still play kind of their zone that they were supposed to do because they've got two receivers on their side. Does that make sense? So he can still be flat linebacker here, and he can still be the deep. So this half of the field, they can still play their 3-2, right? It's just that I'd rather have my linebacker in and this guy covering the line and that. So it's almost a weird 2-3, but it's a 3-2. Does that make sense here? And then on this side, he's got a man. And my whole job with this guy right here is that if this guy's got the nerve to pitch, or somehow pitch it to him and then he becomes a quarterback, how quick is he onto that, right? And then this monster still has pursuit on quarterback. Because let's say he gets the pitch, because what we have to learn this the hard way, and then all of a sudden quarterback goes out in the flat, he's in play, right? He comes with him, so he takes that away. And both sides, right? This guy's just in the flat on a passing route without a big pitch. He's coming with him. So worst case scenario, if it's a run, I've got two guys burned down, and a guy who in essence cheating because he's on the line of scrimmage. Because as soon as they go high, mostly shotgun at this stage, right? So it's shotgun handoff, right? And who knows what he's going to do? We're shotgun pitch. And as soon as they do that, I've got this little fast guy that's just begging to go, right? And he's right there. And then I've got the monster who's coming in to fill gas. So we crush backfield messing around with fast little rushers like that. And then in the meantime, this guy, I don't care what he's doing because I've got a great safety that's taking him. And they don't have the time to run close corners and all this other stuff. Because imagine I've got two guys in there. Now this is only good when there's a running back or there's a second guy back here, right? You just take it on each side. Mostly they're going to go 2-2. And then we go off and just go our regular 3-2s. Unless it's third and deep, and then we'll go maybe a 2-3 and slide the little linebacker back. Alright? So those that play football, folks, you know, this is man for us. Well, we have a thing that's called Doug's, in which we take our middle linebacker and bring him back as a monster, and then we'll rush. Just shake it down a little bit. We'll do man quite a bit if we see we have an advantage. A lot of times we don't. We're always a small team. And they'll have some good big guys on the outside and one play some sort of defense. Other questions about the defense I ran? All right, it worked pretty good. Offense, I'll just give you guys a couple of plays. Yeah, you got it.
You just kind of alluded to some of this. I mean, it's like, what do you do to call the plays?
Good question. Because I probably argued with Paul over this too, because we play teams where the entire team would come to the sideline. Remember, in first or second grade, you're going to be out there, right? And so, okay, fine. But then you get to a certain age, it's time to go call your plays, right? I don't mind calling it from the sidelines. We get these teams coming all the way to the sideline for a 30-second huddle. And I go crazy, right? You know, where's your ball over here right now? You know, this is ridiculous, you know, and I send emails or whatever. And you've got 30 seconds to do what you want. And so I abbreviated that because I can't start to ridiculous kind of, it's all my complaining I did pretty good. So what I would do is after every play, my kids never listen, and they're all too good of buddies. And so that's also a big problem, right? Because, man, it's hard to coach, right? Because A, my kids don't listen to you at this age, and B, they're all their best friends. You know, so ultimately what I would do is we gotta have two quarterbacks minimum, right? Is after every play that quarterback comes over, and I say Lightning, or I say Reggie, or I say whatever the play is, set them up, and then I'll tell them where I want them to huddle or I want them to hurry. It all depends on the score and what we're doing and what we're trying to get accomplished. So bring the quarterback over, you have a second, settle him down, make sure he knows the plays, and make sure the kids know the plays as well. I just wasn't a fan of the whole team.
What do you think of the, is that a little too confusing, too much for them to deal with?
You know, when Pop Warner, when you know, you have 60 plays that you're running. That's one thing. But once again, it kind of went against the spirit of what Coach Mack and Coach Paul were putting together, which is great family spending time together on a Friday night. And it was more about me being excited and the kids being excited to go have fun with their buddies and their new friends they're making along the way. So I didn't long answer that. I didn't get too involved in that. I just wanted it to be more fun. And so we just kind of really kept our plays down so our kids, especially mine, could learn past 3 plays. And so we did a little bit of running early on. I'll kind of show you guys real quick what we did. Is, you know, if we're running back, here's the block, here's the outside line. I put those guys as far over as I could. And this is obvious, right? I'm going to just do a pitch left and see if you can beat one guy. When you're young, you can beat guys, right? But when you get bigger, you know, it's 21 yards for a first down. That's 7 yards to play. I always remind my kids every game. 7 yards to play is what I want. How many times do you play? And you just need 7 yards and they throw a ball. I got this kid Aiden saying, he just wants to throw balls. And as you get older, it's tougher and tougher to complete those, right? So 7 yards to play, 21 yards is the first down. Fields are 42 yards long. So that's something you did there. So on a running play. We also did what was called lightning. And this is my son's worst play because he had to do it. But everybody else's favorite. I'm going to share this with him. So what we did here is we had an offensive tackle, a center, a quarterback, a running back. What's that? 4. Let's say 5. Let's say 6. Okay. Quarterback is under center. This is our best play.
Oh, I've seen this. I've seen this play. I like this.
And so your freshman, your soon-to-be freshman potential quarterback runs as good as anybody. Jack Geary will go under center. Cameron Kremer's my kid's right here. He hates this play because attention's on him. He's not one of those kids. And so he gets under center. And what he does, he gets ready, set hike. My little theater kid in the back there thinks he's going to get the ball. What he's going to do is go like this, right? The kid back here is going to go back pitch, basically, and go, oh, and be dramatic, right? Like he overthrew him. But what he really did was this little tackle right here, set, hike. Where am I? And he goes 1/1000, boom, takes the ball and runs this way. I have plays on tape where I got 4 kids rushing the running back for, I don't know, 10 steps. And that kid's 15 yards down the field. So it's our most fun play. We can do it on big plays. You need 5 yards for a first down. But it's just we call lightning. And all it is just the drama of the quarterback saying he overthrew the ball, and the running back pretending that it was overthrown. And it's 1/1000 for the tackle, taking it and going this way. And this guy's just running a post, or actually he's just running right at his guy, eyes locked, and make him focus in on him.
And it works 1 time per game.
You know, we do it 2 or 3 times a game before they kind of figure out that running play. And that's just called lightning. We let the kids make up a lot of plays. Once again, it's just a lot of fun. For them to have a say in it, once again, it's just friends having a good time.
One question, so we would run a delayed handoff, inside handoff like that also. This is 3rd, 4th grade level.
Yeah, sure.
Oftentimes my kids would then go up the middle, and we would find, we were trying to push them to the outside, because when we were on defense, kids have rolled pursuit, we got students going, get to the outside.
Right.
So is that the point you tell your guy, is to go, or do you just read, I mean,
You know, at this stage where there's maybe one guy here and guys have over pursued, it's just athletics taking over right there. It's just about kids trying to make plays. And fortunately for our kids, a lot of them play football, a lot of them soccer, baseball, whatever. But a lot of times they don't use the outsides as much as they should because everybody's bogged down in the middle between the monster, between the linebacker, maybe some DBs coming in there. And so, you know, the fields are wide enough. They're not long enough, but they're wide enough to still do things. And I don't think that we leverage it. So a couple of the plays we have, we love the hook and ladder, and all of you know that. So what we do is we just have 2 out here. They're messing around. The center's doing a hook in case something doesn't work. We have an outside guy here that's just doing a 6-yard curl, and we have the running back that's just delayed to the outside. And so everybody hopefully knows that, and which just makes sure that when I catch that ball on the hook, I'm not handing it off, right? Because the guy that's about to tag me, you don't want him in the play, right? You want it to be pitched outside. So if I'm committing to tag this guy and he gets out of it soon enough, another 4 or 5 yards is the pitch and it's gone. And that's always good for 1 or 2 a game as well.
Mark, I'm gonna miss you on the sidelines, man. It's not after this first time you haven't been on the sidelines.
I know. You know what? I probably miss this more than Pop Warner. Well, Pop Warner's pretty tough in this, but Pop Warner, baseball, lacrosse, all of it's so great. And I've been fortunate to have 2 boys that play a lot of this stuff. But you know, this to them, just watching how excited they get, whether they see the coaches, whether they see their buddies, just being able to go out under the lights. Just a ton of fun. I don't know how we're doing on time. I've got a couple more plays if they want to hear.
We have until 7, and you can use all the way up until that, or not. You know, it's up to you. We're just happy.
Whatever you guys think is of value or not, or steering in any direction you want. You know, we had the ability to just kind of put the plays together that was 4 or 5 years in making, so we're able to do it. If you have 2 quarterbacks, a halfback option is always nice as well, because it's just a pitch out to your running back and the quarterback, since everybody's rolling with them. Whenever we do hooks to the inside, just to make the play an easier play so it doesn't turn into an out route. Our quarterbacks aren't that smart, so if they can throw it real quick and roll it to the end, that was always good. We had audibles as well. We had something we call it Reggie, roll out, right? So we just called it Reggie. And so what you do is you have a backside guy running a streak, which I actually love. So if I had my kid Jack Gary rolling right, he loves that route more than anybody. You've got guys at 5 yards, 9 yards, 12 yards running their outs. If he can set his feet, what happens is you forget about the little guy running the street. And so if he can set his feet, you can throw it deep. Or this is a great play when it's just short. It's very short, we're just trying to turn it into a touchdown. So that's just called Reggie. Opposite of let's call it Robble to the left. And so it's just kind of easy to do. So I can go Reggie. They all know what to do. It's not flips, it's not charts, everybody's got it. And the goal is that all your kids know where they're playing no matter what position they're in. Like we talked about, you know, I had kind of generically only about 7 plays. The games go super fast, as you guys are aware. Before you know it, the refs try to do the best job they can and keep it moving. And you only have so much time to make those plays. More than anything, once again, as I kind of conclude on this stuff, it was about the families and making sure the families were there and having a great time on a Friday night, whether it's cold or hot out or whatever. And you had parents having more fun than the kids were. I know for my wife and their friends, no clue, or did it matter what the score was. I don't even know what they saw the game. They're all out having a great time outside of Twin City Park or all wherever we go. Always set up great like that. I know coaches let you kind of customize a little bit what your teams can look like. I would just implore you to take somebody on that isn't good. Somebody on that you don't know. You know, there's always kind of those things. You go to school, you probably have to go out and win kids, and it was always my goal to have them go meet something new every day, say hello to something new every day. To have the same 8 kids for 5 years, you know, that you know, I guess you can do that, but it kind of defeats kind of the spirit of what we're trying to do here. So it's just inclusion, being able to have other kids be part of something bigger and special, and that sense of pride when you're going to pack ring or whatever, and they've got their NFL jerseys on, and to have exposure to the high school coaches and just the great training that they're able to provide, and just exposure to all of it as well. It's just been incredibly rewarding. Plus the trophies are like 5 feet tall. The kids love that stuff. So maybe just open for questions for the last couple minutes here.
You said you had 7 base plays. Why only 7?
Well, I don't see my kids or not, but you know, we had a hook and ladder, we had a lightning, we had runs left, runs right, we had what we call a Reggie, we had a Raleigh. We make up new plays based upon somebody having a girlfriend, so it's Ty Jamie was the name of it or something. So the kids just make silly things up. And so we'd have literally 5 or 6 plays that we would run pretty consistently. You know, hooks, how easy is that? You're running a 6-yard hook. And then all of a sudden I get crazy and I say, Jake, run, go deep. You know, so the hooks are really tough to, you know, especially in a 2-3 against us. So if you're in a 2-3, you'd imagine the linebackers over the slots, right? And the outside guys have probably got 10 or 15 yards before their defender's there. Well, if I'm running a quick hook to the outside, I'm exposed right there. So if I can see that against the other guys, I'm just going to run hooks. We have something called a quack, you know, something real quick. You know, I may run it 2 seconds before he says hi, and I go quack. And it's just everybody quick 1-yard slants. you know, and they're gonna run their routes still, but they're gonna be looking for the ball right away. So we kind of make it up on the fly. Once again, I'll tell the quarterback what I want to do. But once again, the spirit, at least for me, was fun. And we're just gonna have a ton of fun with family and friends, and I'm not gonna have playbooks. I'm not, you know, I'll have set things because I forget more than anybody when we're with kids and we want to be able to learn about it.
Do you have wristbands?
No wristbands. You know what I do is I get silly socks. So we were ASU one time, we happened to be in Phoenix, I went to the college store there and I got really silly socks. For Alabama one time, and all these kids are like pretty cool kids and stuff, and the sillier the better, which is funny. When they're together, they digress 3 or 4 years in maturity, and they're even younger, it seems like, which is half the fun. But I'll spend the money, the $16, and get some really fun pair of socks that they can all wear, that they can be, you know, goofy.
Well, I bet the plays on them.
Yeah, we don't do the plays on the wrist. We don't, they're gonna learn 7 plays. You know, whatever it may be, and then the opposite of that, so in theory, I guess we can have 14 plays. But they should all know it. Reggie's are easy, we're going to the right. Raleigh's are easy, we're going to the left. We had another assistant coach, Josh Wright. We had a couple other plays that we maybe incorporate. There's something called rhinos, something called banana. You know, but that just comes through playing, and all of a sudden you'll see something you like. You know, I saw something on a hook and ladder where they actually had 2 outside receivers. The throw was to the outside guy right away, and then it was just a handoff to the inside guy. I thought that was even quicker and better than mine, because we're not waiting around for the running back to get out into the play. So we changed that up and we incorporated that in what we did. So it's just ever evolving, and you know, most of all, hopefully having fun.
You asked the same question earlier. It sounds like you know you had new kids that are pretty core athletic group in your team. So what would you suggest if you don't, like you have, when we talked, the budding nuclear science stuff?
Yeah.
And so running is a core of what you do, but you're in the 4th grade where you really need to pass.
Right, yeah, for sure. And so for me, you know, you're going to have practices early on to get the fundamentals straight. Just to really, if anything, to win games, you need to grab flags. It's not really about how well your offense is, but it's about being able to play great defense. And that was always kind of my fundamental that I installed early on. The kids, let's say you have 1 or 2 that just don't get it, you know, they're going to be playing middle linebacker. On offense, maybe they're in the route, but they're not really going to get the ball right away if they're running the wrong route, right? So I've got to get way up or something until all of a sudden I can get in the huddle and I say, hit Josh. You know, it's a 6-yard curl, hit Josh, and my quarterback still won't do it. So it's one of those things where I'm like, no, I said hit Josh. Oh, but he was so wide open to hear you. So, you know, they have lots of opinions during that. So if you can get them just to have 5 or 6 plays where they know where they're going in each position, whether they're in the slot, whether they're an outside receiver, those are the things that will be really important for you guys going forward, because you're always going to have 1 or 2 kids that just are not going to get it, but it's more valuable, obviously, not to be part of that.
So up to this point, for us, we're going to 5th, 6th for the first time.
Great.
Not 3rd, 4th, so.
5th, 6th is tough because if the kids start growing, and little 5th graders, there's a big disparity between some of these outside receivers.
So at this point, I mean, previously it was kind of like, well, let's let everybody play every little position, see what they're good at, see what they like, see where they fit in the best. And then this quick season, pretty soon, it's like, I've never really designated except 2 quarterbacks. And we found guys, do you think it's better just to identify a position that you got to the player and let him play there? I still think at this age it's good to let them cross-train on position.
Yeah, Paul, you may have opinions. You know, I still swap them around because it's not, this isn't where they're going to play pro, you know, and this really isn't the theme behind it. So, you know, rush is kind of tough, right? So I want to switch people out and give them a chance to take breaks, and some people feel that that's a legit position to be in, and some people love it. I try to get them all around. Yeah, I'm trying to win, but winning really is a close 1st or 2nd with making sure it's a good experience for everybody. Because I worry afterwards, did they get enough time? Or not enough time here, but did they get the ball? Did they score? Did they touch it? I'm more worried about having them have a good experience. You know, that you know, I really focus on. So to answer your question, I haven't tried to play everywhere. Ultimately, come playoff time, you know, the nice thing, the way Paul set it up is everybody's making the playoffs. You know, in seeding, unless you got 36 teams like we had last season in the 7-8, we had 36 teams or something in the 7-8s last year. Seeding really is almost irrelevant. Just go on a run. I think we had a couple teams that I saw emails from Paul that were, even in the 7-8s, I think it was like a 21 seed that went right through a 15, a 7, and a 4 seed and made it to the semis. So just get everybody ready to roll, and then come playoff time, you can play to win. Disagree, agree, Paul, what do you think?
Going back to your, should everybody play one position or whatever, I kind of think some kids are like, coach, I don't want to play quarterback, or coach.
Oh, quarterback, yes,
You
side
know,
by side.
or you know what, coach, I really want to rush a lot, and I really don't like playing safety. In a situation like that, then I can see letting them kind of do other things that they do like. But also, if their kids like playing different positions, then I would say let them do that. I think every team's different. You know.
With the littler guys, do you ask them, like, first and second, hey, who wants to?
Yeah, what do you want to play?
It's kinda like-
Some people may be shy, don't want to be in certain spots. Some people, oh, you know what, my dad says I have to play free safety. You know, whatever it may be, right? Whatever it may be, right? Everybody's got different agendas. And so, you know, once again, I can't reiterate enough, have this be on the bottom rung when it comes to you know, aspirational goals to go be great. I mean, the theme of this whole thing, at least for us, was about camaraderie with buddies, having a great time, meeting new people, being out on a Friday night. So those are the things to me that we made most important. Last question. Yes, yeah.
What percent of teams play man-to-man versus zone?
Oh, see, against us, we had real quick guys. So we hoped people would play man on us. When we would go to man on defense, normally where we would go to a 4-1, we'd have some amazing kid that was just all world that we're going up against, whether it's first grade or fifth grade. And we'd maybe take our best player for that situation and man him up, and then play a 4-zone behind him, and just kind of go 2 and 2.
So for you, zone work better than man-to-man?
Zone always work better if we can be further up, because as your kids get bigger, you'll find that the field gets more and more narrow, right? And I always think, we were playing against this kid Cole Wright before I brought him onto my team finally. But they were playing like a 4-1, and I'm thinking, okay, Aiden, just fade right, and I'll have little Jake Kermers on the street left. There's no way he's going to be able to get to both sides. He got to both sides intercepted. So as they get bigger and older, it's harder to run, so just be aware of that. But it's also harder to go throw deep against big guys. We had this kid, Nick Song, probably 6'2" in 6th grade, and fast, and kind of mean, you know, and so I loved it. So it's, you had a guy who don't throw a jump ball against him, right? You know, you're not going to win. And so as the kids get bigger, you can do less and less 2-3, and more 3-2, and fewer guys deeper, because most plays, even for us, are underneath, right? I want 7-yard pass plays and put it in my athlete's hand, and then they can go make a move and go. Much easier to do that than it is to go try to hit some skinny seam on double coverage. I found it anyway. Other questions? All right, so Coach Paul, Coach Mack, thanks for having me out. It's my first time doing it. And
Nice job, baby.
If you guys want to talk one-on-one, Coach Mack and I are here. If you guys want to talk to each other, talk to each other. But, you know, we'll upload this to YouTube and send it out to everybody. But thanks for coming, guys. Thank you.
great, thanks, guys. Yeah, thank you.